Welcome to Chibuzor Mathphysics. You can get me on Chibuzor, chibmathphysics.com. I want to take you through the second part of contradiction. There is a part one of this video in case you are joining us, where I define what is contradiction and how to prove contradiction, why you need to assume that the proposition is false, then you prove until you arrive at contradiction in order to show that the original statement is true. So I want to take you through this contradiction in a way that is high, and let us see how to prove it, and we'll work together and make it a fun. I hope you will enjoy it. The question is to show that 4 root 3 is irrational. So you have to prove that 4 root 3 is irrational. I told you from part 1 of this video that in pure mathematics we don't do calculation. All that we do here is try to prove that a certain statement is true or false, and we use the theorem contradiction. So we can, before we continue, I would like to bring this quote to you. I believe that truth has only one face, and that face is that of a violent contradiction. You see, sometimes when you say the truth, when people are telling you to say the truth, you can ask yourself this question: what actually is truth? How can we know that someone is saying the truth? In mathematics, most of the time, truth is a violent contradiction. And I think it is applicable in real life because to show or to prove that a certain statement is true, it might come through violent contradiction. And here in mathematics, we have been given a question and we say the question says that root 3, 4 root 3 is irrational. So we need to start by proving that this statement is false. And that's why I have told you here that we can assume we let 4 root 3 to be rational instead of irrational. Why? Because we want to prove that this is false. And by showing that it is false, we arrive at contradiction, which shows that the original statement is true. This is just mathematics. Anyway, we can represent this 4 root 3 in this form so that we have 3 to the power of third, because 4 can be represented into 1 over 4 because this is root. So it will be A over B. Remember from the first video I told you, when you assume that the number is rational, it means that that number can be represented in the form of A over B, where AB is equals to 1 and B is not equal to 0, because if the denominator is equals to 0, then it becomes undefined. And when it is undefined, it doesn't make sense. So we need to define it. We need to make it, we need to allow this to make sense. So when we do this, we need to actually raise both sides by 4 so that we have 3 here is equals to power over 4, because we want to get rid of 1 over 4 here, so that we have a raised to 4 divided by b raised to 4, and this will be 3b power 4 because we multiply this by this, and this will give us 3b. This is just an inverse relationship. 3b power 4 will be equals to a power 4. Now, before we continue, I will show you what we are supposed to do here. But remember that in contradiction lies our hope. We are looking for where to go from here. So what we are going to do is that a power 4 must be divisible by 3. Remember, here we have 3. So 3 here must be divisible by a power 4. Because if it is not divisible by a power 4, it doesn't make sense. So we have to make it to be divisible by a power 4, and if we do that, it will be 3 power b to the power of 4 is equals to 3k to the power of 4. Remember, we are representing k to be our b in this case, so that 3b power 4 is equals to 3 over 4, because here we have b to be power of 4, so it is 3 power 4 k over 4 if we expand that bracket. And if that is also divisible by 4, it means that b power 4 must also be divisible by 3. And if b power 4 is divisible by 3, it means that b itself is divisible by 3, which means that 4 root 3 is equals to 3, and 3 is not equal to 1, because we know for this to be irrational, it means that that must be equal to 1. A over B must be equal to 1. And if A over B is equal to 3, it means that 3 is not equal to 1, hence a contradiction. So 4 root 3 is irrational. Why? Because it is not equal to 1, and that we arrive at a contradiction. Thank God. In the contradiction lies the hope. When we arrive at the contradiction, there is hope. But if we arrive at something else, then there is no hope. Remember, contradiction is not a sign of falsity, nor the lack of contradiction a sign of truth, according to Blaise Pascal. So I challenge you to also look at life in the form of mathematics, so that sometimes when somebody contradicts your idea, when somebody don't agree with your idea, don't feel bad about it, because contradiction is not a sign of falsity. It is not a sign of weakness, nor is it a sign of truth. But contradiction has helped us today, because this contradiction lies the hope. And this is our final answer. We have proven that 4 root 3 is irrational. Do well to subscribe to this channel if you like what you see. And don't forget, subscribe and share the video. All the best in your mathematics endeavor. See you in our next video. Bye.